Greetings, Lowlifes! Ghost Rider is back from Vegas, a little worse for wear, and it's week 5. So here is your recap, or as I like to say, the delivery device of legally obligated terrible chili dog jokes. I kind of wish Ghosty didn't think the terrible part was also the legally obligated part, but I digress. Let's start things off. Let's get the septic jokes out of the way early with Charlie's Darren Waller ballers and Caesar's throw to my Johnson. Charlie's team had a bit of bad luck so far, and of course he went against one of the highest scorers of the week for the 5th week in a row. Has over 600 points scored against him, with second place in the arena having just above 550. However, his team finally earned the L. His receivers outscored the rest of his team combined, and they put together 33 points. I guess one could say he had a chance to win Monday night if Darren Waller scored 80 points, and he went out with an injury on the 3rd play of the game. Caesar's team chugged along, or should say chubbed along, with Nick Chubb getting 25, Carson Wentz with 23, and King Henry with 27. Congrats to Caesar on the Draymond Green Beatdown of the Week award. Davante Adams was also in contention. Next we had Jimmy's Mark Davis's Barber versus Bob's Buttlickers. The Barber came out flat with the Dolphins D getting him negative points. He went all in on the Jags, starting both running backs for them and their best receiver, Captain Kirk. Bob had Trevor Lawrence, so Jimmy was hoping it would be an air raid on the Texans D, when actually Lawrence hoodwinked Jimmy with no touchdowns and 2 picks. So Jimmy's Jags scored a combined 22 points. You know who scored more for him though? Mark Andrews. Also, Jalen Hurts added 28 because Jimmy needed his butt licked, I guess. It's a good thing there isn't a TP shortage anymore. Bob's highest score was Tyreek Hill with 13, and it's been a brutal year for Bob. The worst barber in the world wins this one, 90-69. Third up, we had Rashad's ABC Easy as BBC versus Ray's Bone Crushers. Rashad's gambit on the Niners worked, at least for the guys who didn't have to catch passes. Jeff Wilson Jr. ran for 20 and the Niner D got him 17. Ray's Amari Cooper led his team with 21 points, and the stout Colts defense broke the legs off their horse rival, the Broncos. Lamar Jackson had an off night for him with only 16 points, and Ray held a narrow lead heading into Monday night, but Rashad had Davante Adams. And that was the end of that. BBC stands tall 116-88. Next up, we had John and Larry's Armed and Hammered versus Alex's O-Tag. Full disclosure, there's a lot of crap written here about anal leakage from absolute anal annihilation. I'm just going to skip over that. I'm guessing that the alliteration is just the chili on the hot dog for Ghosty. Josh Allen dropped 36, Josh Jacobs 30, and Dallas D 25. Mike Williams added 23. You know what? I'll just shut up there. None of my guys broke 20. But the Niners won, so there's my victory. Let's go with that. The Baked Soda Armed and Hammered takes the victory 154-84. Next, we had a Bud Light Bowl between Big John's Can't Lose to Gary and Allen's It's a Me. For Big John, Justin Jefferson dropped 30 on the Bears, Tiger King Joey Burr added 18, and even his kicker Daniel Carlson added 16. Allen's squad had other plans. Cooper Kupp went for 26 and the Big Buffalo D added 16. The stars were Breece Hall, who ran for 28, and Leonard Fat Lenny Fournette adding 36. Allen won with style points, leaving T. Higgins in when he did not even play versus the Ravens. Still takes the victory 140-110. We have a drinking buddy battle between Albert's Dr. Hoptologist and Scott's Fukin. Albert's week started harshly with his quarterback Teddy Bridgewater being unfairly punished by the football gods for the Lolfins' bungling of the Tua situation, and he got concussed on the first play of the game. While Albert conceded at about 10:08 a.m. Sunday, his squad would put up quite a fight. Devontae Smith with 19, Raymondre Stevenson with 20, Michael Carter even gained 17, and his kicker added 18. For Scott, Dalvin Cook scored 26, Godwin 12, and Herbert underperformed once more with 14. Chase Edmonds killed Scott with a single rushing yard for the game. The football gods took mercy on the doctor. Or maybe it was karma for him chanting "Go Raiders" as Jimmy threw up on a Las Vegas sidewalk after the game or something. But Albert actually won this with a bold zero quarterback strategy, 90-88. We had Dylan's Dilly versus Dom's Fast Like a NASCAR. Dylan's squad started hot with Alvin Kamara going for 23 points. I shiver to think of what it would have been if Taysom Hill hadn't been the ultimate touchdown vulture. Mahomes added 31 points on Monday night because the Raiders secondary has a medical condition where they can't see tight ends on the goal line. Speaking of the Raiders, Derek Carr scored the second most points for Dom with 18. He also had Kelsey, who had 34 points. 4 touchdowns for 24 yards is actually quite the stat line. Regardless, Dylan does take the victory 107-97, notching his 3rd straight. And last we have a battle, not just atop the standing between 2nd and 4th place, but between general manager and assistant manager. Matt's whole 9 centimeters versus Sierra's TDs for the triple Ds. Matt's top scorers were his backfield, with CMC getting 23 and Damian Pierce 20. Sierra had Stephon Diggs, but recently acquired Austin Eckler came alive with 36. The rest of our team lacks support though, boob joke, with only Stafford hitting double digits. Matt's whole 9 centimeters takes this 106 to 93. And that's going to do it for the matchups, which means it is award time. And yes, Ghosty will give a shout out to last week's award winners because I am a busy boy. Winner of the R. Kelly Whiz Kid of the Week goes to Sierra this week for Austin Eckler's incredible stream of yardage. And shout out to John Ryan, the winner of last week's.
I'll be on you. Drip, drip, drip.
OJ's fastest runners of the week go to Allen, whose backfield combined for 64. And shout out to Matt for winning it last week.
Damn!
The Browser's choke of the week goes to league newcomer Ray and his team Bone Crushers. I suppose they'll be crushing a different bone this week. And I guess shout out to myself for winning this gag-inducing award last week. No, we don't have to do it at the same time. We can take turns.
What are you doing, step bro?
And last but certainly not least, we had Lowlife of the week. Last week's winner was league newcomer Dylan for beating Ghosty. Thank you for that, buddy. And this week's goes to Matt's whole 9 centimeters. I'm sure this is nothing compared to the bragging rights you'll have on Sierra for the rest of the season, and that, my friends, is going to do it from me and Ghosty. Thank you to all the teams that knocked out those pesky undefeated teams. Now, if you could just give me a few wins, we'll call it even. Voice Guy, out.